Ah, well, Happy New Year's to all you guys out there. Decided to start this year off with a kind of garage talk type thing. We're going to talk about a vehicle that I have probably coming in a couple weeks. Um, I'm going to show you some things about my truck that we're going to work on later this year. Again, the floors is probably going to be the biggest thing. Some shows that we're going to try and maybe get to. We're probably not going to take any vehicles because we've got some projects that we need to work on and focus our time and money into for that before we focus on trying to take long distance trips with vehicles. So the first project that we're probably going to get into this year is a buddy of mine and club member, Kyle Robeson, has a, honestly can't remember what year it is, but it is a Isuzu Ombre. Clean little truck, bagged, all that good stuff. We are going to be doing an ABS delete on it. So he's going to bring it here and drop it off to me, and going to remove the ABS module, make some new lines, bleed the brakes, give it a little test drive, make sure that's all good for him so that he can take it to Mini Nats in North Carolina this year. We won't be going to that, unfortunately. That was one of our favorite shows. So we've gone the past 3 years. Always been a blast. Great long road trip. Good to see all the trucks up and down the strip just cruising, dragging. Good old time. Once we get that in here and get that taken care of, there may be some other little odds and ends of maintenance of different vehicles that we're probably going to get into. And then I'm going to try and get into working on my truck. The biggest thing that I'd really like to get done sooner than later, which is why I got the welder that y'all seen in the last video, is this thing really, really needs floor pans. I'm going to try and find a picture I took of it last year, which was really kind of bad. um, and we're going to cut those out and get full floor pans put in there, do some undercoating on the bottom and some sort of sealant on the top, seam sealer obviously. Probably while I'm in there I'm going to put some kind of sound deadener slash heat protection because it does get pretty warm in there on road trips even though you don't have heat on. This is a Cheyenne model, so it was pretty much a work truck when I got it. Uh, and then another thing I need to address is, especially during the summer months, I'm having problems with the starter getting heat soaked. So if I take a short trip, long trip, or whatever, somewhere, park it, go inside, take care of what I need to do, come back out, won't start. So that's going to be another thing. It's got the old style big, I call it the brick starter because the thing weighs about 50 pounds. It's got that on there. A buddy of mine told me to put a starter off a Blazer or a V6 Chevy truck. Can't remember exactly. Basically, it's a factory mini starter. So we're gonna get one of those and put one of those on there. And then I also have a whole nother air management setup to put on here. I got a slam manifold, two airlift air tanks that I just got back from powder coat that I kind of forgot about. I'll probably throw a picture of those up in there so you guys can see those. Then I want to redesign the little raised bed floor that I have going on so that when I do the air ride stuff, it's going to be exposed as opposed to underneath because I kind of figure with it looking nice. I want to be able to see it a little more. The original design that I did with that was so that it was accessible but out of the weather, because I do drive this truck probably about 98% of the time every day. So gets a lot of love and a lot of miles uh, throughout the year. It doesn't matter the weather. I figure if you build them, it's best to have fun with them. Now there is a very good chance that there will be another truck coming in here that's going to be one of our personal trucks that will be a kind of extensive build process, because I'm not quite sure the state of what it's going to be when we get it, as far as how complete it is to be a driver. So last I saw of it, it needs trans tunnel and sheet metal work and interior and some good stuff like that. So that's going to be another good thing to work on and show you guys. Today I'm probably going to give you a little bit of a walk around of my truck, since you'll probably be seeing a lot of that, but I'll give you show you a little bit of what I got going on with it now. Beginning of the year, so things are going to be kind of slow to start out with. I do work full time, so this is going to be just kind of a here and there thing. I just wanted to get in here and show you guys and talk to you guys about some of the stuff that we have going on. I'm excited to get Kyle's truck in here and get working on that. That's going to be something good and fun. It's always fun making brake lines, as long as you remember to put fittings on when you're doing them. I'm going to try not to fall out of this chair while I'm rolling around. So this is my truck. I'm going to kind of do my best to show you some stuff. It's a little crowded in here, so we're just going to do what we can. Everything's going to look kind of zoomed in. Again, doing this on a phone is not ideal, but we're making it work. So this is a 1990 Chevrolet C1500 step side. Started out as a friend of mine's little farm truck, I guess you could say. He just used it to go back and forth from the garage to the house. But it spent a lot of its life near a beach. So that's why the floors are rusted out on it. But it was originally red, V6, 5-speed. I think I have a picture of it when I first got it. Started from. First thing I did with it, because it was had primer spots all over it, I just grabbed some really cheap black paint and gave it an old rattle can paint job. I did that a couple times. I only just recently sprayed it with a actual paint gun and some matte black paint. Some people say it's satin, matte, tomato, same thing. But it works. It's one color. It stayed one color for all this year. It still looks pretty decent. First time ever painting anything. I actually painted it in here. Turned out okay. I, again, didn't know anything about what I was doing. I looked up some information and kind of winged it from there. So it turned out pretty decent. I'm happy with it as far as what it is. Learned a lot, know a lot for the next time. But when I first got the truck, I painted it, rattle canned it. Then I did a 5.7 drop on it with Beltec suspension. Drove around like that for a little while. Then I decided I wanted it to be a little bit lower. So I did some leaf spring mounts in the back to move the leaf spring up. At the time when I originally lowered this truck, it was a 4.3 V6 truck. So I had V6 drop springs in the front, 3-inch drop springs. So then when I did the V8 swap, it's got a small block 350 in it now. So when I did that, it lowered the front even more. which I like. So then I had to, of course, lower the rear to kind of give it a more level look. When it was all said and done, it was about 6 to 7 inches in the front and about 11 in the back that I had ended up dropping it. Static drop. Drove around like that for probably about 2 years. Originally talked about never ever bagging this truck because I didn't want to deal with the headaches of daily driving a vehicle on bags because I didn't know any better. I didn't know anything I was talking about. So was planning on just driving it static for the longest time. And then my now fiance, we got to talking about it, and we were like, we're just gonna jump in the bagging it. I again didn't know anything about what I was doing. It looked up a little bit of information, got a suspension kit from Infamous Metal, which was the front control arms, the tie rods, shock mounting brackets, and a 3-link for the rear. Decided to, once I got that on 4th of July weekend a couple years back, I decided that I was going to try and do that in 3 days. That turned into 3 weeks of weekends and days after work because I was doing it all by myself and did not know what I was doing, so I was taking my time. Once I got all that done, we took the attitude check 2 years ago, so that would have been 21 in Virginia. That was the first show I went to when it was fully bagged. Rode around on these wheels and everything for quite some time. Then I got a friend of mine from upstate New York that had a set of Camaro wheels that he was getting rid of that I was not opposed to taking and putting on this truck. So that's the wheels I ride around on most of the time because I'm cheap and don't want to go buy really expensive wheels. But I'll show you some of the stuff around the truck. This is kind of how it's been sitting for the past 2-3 years. I really don't think much is going to change because I'm kind of happy with what it is for now. I'm going to probably build some other stuff down the road, but it's a small block 350 that came out of an 88 truck. I actually got it for free for helping somebody pull it out because they were putting an LS in their truck. I was going to put a cam and stuff in it, so I decided that I didn't want to keep the computer system or anything like that, so I stripped all that out. Tore the engine down. I was going to re-ring it and do all that good stuff. Tore it apart, found out the engine had been gone through, so I just put new gaskets and everything, put it together, and drove it like that. I think it was like that for a year and a half before it popped a head gasket. Then I got with a buddy of mine, and he had a set of Vortec heads, intake, and carburetor that he took off an engine that he'd worked on, and that's what it has on it now, and that's what it's been running for the longest time. It's got an ATI ignition. It's got I think it's a 454 lift cam in it. Just something that sounds nice, goes down the road. Never been one for fast cars. I just like, sounds good and cruises good because I like to road trip vehicles. I like to go on long road trips and enjoy them. So I don't need a race car that's gonna break down every couple weeks. Then again, I own a bag truck that may break down every couple weeks, but that's the fun of it. So one of the other things I need to do to this thing's got really cheap Amazon headlights and stuff in it that are known to be junk, but I know that. Normally I replace them about every year. This passenger side one has recently started to get moisture in it, so I have another set of those coming that I'll probably put in there soon. So I'll probably bring you guys along for that too. See, I made these trailer fender wheel tubs, which I plan on redesigning because they don't technically have enough room for what I have going on. They're not pretty, but they work. They keep the water out of the engine bay. We'll go over here. See a little bit of the inside, which it's all stock. It's just mainly designed to work. I made that snap-on pry bar shifter some odd years ago. I can't remember how long it was. I have plans to do some different seats. This is just some blankets that we got. One of them's actually from Mexico, which is pretty cool. But it works. It does what it needs to do. Here's the bomber seat brackets that came from Winter's Fab that a buddy of mine did the dimple dies on. It already had the holes in it, so he turned around and just did the press dies on them so that it got the flares on it. And then I had the same guy that did my tank powder coating do these. So this is another thing that I'm going to try and do soon. This is the back of the truck here that has this kind of homemade raised bed floor to kind of keep, so I can still use it as a truck mainly, but it kept all my air stuff kind of out of the way. So I'll open this up here. It's dirty and ugly in here. All this was put together with used parts from different friends and stuff like that. So I did a halfway paint job on them just to kind of get them to go with the truck a little bit. It's got an airlift tank up there in the front. I don't know what tank that is. It's got Vire valves. And then I have a horn blasters valve down there for my horns. Got Vire 485s that I just got at Maniness this year from Elusive Fab, which those guys are cool. They gave me a really good deal on those, as well as the new airlift tanks that I have going in there. So, and if you haven't seen it, this is my club logo for Sunset, Maryland. Right there. I normally only run stickers of stuff that I'm a part of or that I've had stuff done to the truck, which Maytech Designs, they did some welding work on the back of here for me a while back. Again, this garage is a little cramped, so I can show you what I can without it being outside. There's some pinstriping work on the back. I'd start it up in here, but then you wouldn't be able to hear anything. You probably wouldn't even be able to hear it run, because the microphone with this thing, just noises do not like it. But that's this truck. Once I get Kyle's truck here, we'll go over that one a little bit for some stuff and show you a bit about that while I'm working on that, because that's a really cool truck. So that's the gist of it, what we're going to try and get done in the next couple months. This is just kind of an idea I've had for doing some things for some time. I figured give it a shot trying to do this video thing. Obviously you can tell I am not a camera person. I don't even really like talking to people in person. So we're gonna do the best we can what we got as far as that. We're gonna try and get some cool stuff in here to show you guys. I'm pretty sure I'll get a lot of criticism for my lack of knowledge on stuff, but hey, all this stuff that I do, I was never taught. I taught myself on a lot of it, most of it. So I think I'm doing pretty good for the lack of education I have for the automotive part. But we're going to make it work. We're going to do some stuff, and show you guys some cool stuff here and there. So I hope you guys enjoy your new year and have a great beginning to the year. I'm gonna close it out there and see you guys in a couple weeks. Hopefully, when I get this other truck in here.